In the opening scene, a young man learned the hard way that humans only value something when they lose it. The second thing he learned is that losing is very easy. The second discovery has been disturbing the boy ever since because his mind keeps hammering that he will lose everyone he loves or connects with. Reflecting on this at the grave of his family members after a serious car accident, the boy cries while being comforted by a friend who assures him she's by his side. This boy's name is Asano Taiyo. Despite the unparalleled pain of this loss, it seems he has many friends to ease this suffering, and they make efforts to invite him to various activities like soccer or karaoke. Despite this, Asano refuses all the proposals he receives to go out, and the group still can't get to know this boy who has been in their class for a month but collapses just by having to respond to others. However, it's not that Asano doesn't want to make friends with these guys, but something prevents him from taking the next step. At this moment, his friend Matsumi questions if Taiyo rejected those people again and scolds him for running away. He loses patience with this and asks to be left alone, but Matsumi had made lunch for him because he's always working and not eating properly, so in the end, she was forcing him to eat all the carrots this time. Eavesdropping on the scene, the rejected boys wonder why the school's biggest idol, Yozakura, would act like a fool like that, even though they're childhood friends. Meanwhile, Matsumi shows concern because Taiyo is always alone and she fears he will spend the rest of his life like that. On the other hand, the boy argues that she recently rejected Tanaka, a handsome, intelligent guy in the third year and captain of the soccer team. She slightly boasts about rejecting such a guy, but then asks her friend to move on and make new friends because surely his parents would be happy with that. That said, Matsumi was about to feed her friend, but a man intervenes and takes the fork. The girl complains that Mr. Hirokawa had promised to stop stealing other people's food, but he responds that he can't control his body's impulses in front of such delicious food. Then she asks if he shouldn't be on a business trip abroad, but Hirokawa missed Matsumi's lunch so much that he decided to come back early just to satisfy his craving. Furthermore, he's been away from that beautiful white streak of hers for so long and asks to rub his face on it. But she warns with a smile that she will report him if he dares to do that. Finally, Hanakawa invites Asano to his office after class, and the boy worries he has done something wrong, but Hanakawa leaves in a strange way without revealing anything. After class, the boys make sure to say goodbye to Asano, and he walks through the school corridors while memories of the accident invade his mind, constantly reminding him that his ability to connect with others was buried with his parents. Upon arriving at the vice principal's office, Asano is greeted with tea, and Mr. Hanakawa sits strangely close to him before showing his secret collection of photos of Matsumi. Inside, Asano calls the vice principal a pervert and remembers how much this guy has always favored Matsumi. Therefore, he considers reporting the guy, especially because he has a photo of the girl when she was only 3 years old. Hanakawa reveals that he has always succumbed to Matsumi's beauty and couldn't stay away from her. In fact, when that Tanaka guy started bothering her, he kindly asked him to stop hanging around her, and in the end, the boy ended up giving in to the request. Reading between the lines of this passive-aggressive speech, Asano realizes he needs to do something before this maniac does something to his friend, but Hanakawa, jealous of the lunches Asano gets from the girl, threatens him with a blade. For a long time, the vice principal overlooked the boy because he was her childhood friend, but now he sees no other option. Asano couldn't move out of fear, but a mysterious girl bursts into the room and activates a strange device that takes Asano away from there. Sometime later, the boy wakes up in a strange place where Matsumi is with some weirder people than he has ever seen in his life. A giant in a lab coat with a bucket on his head scares Asano, who tries to escape, and a girl warns the big guy Nanao that he can't hide behind Matsumi. Soon, Asano's childhood friend explains that these are her siblings, which confuses the young man. The older sister is called Futaba. The name of the older brother is Shinzo. The one with purple hair is Cheyenne. The dressed-up kid is Kengo. The giant is called Nanao, and the watchdog is Goliath. All these members form a family of spies, and Matsumi confesses that it was difficult to keep it a secret for these 10 years. Asano goes crazy with this revelation and thinks everyone there is messing with him. So he grabs a pistol thinking it's a toy, but accidentally fires it upwards and realizes that reality was more real than he thought. Goliath explains that being a spy is a common job, far from what movies show, and Futaba complains that there has been an increase in public servant spies who charge almost nothing, so they can't compete with that, even though Cheyenne comments that they are rated 4.8 out of 5 on the internet. At least, according to Kengo, they have their brother Kyoichiro to boost their popularity, the male spy that women most want to become the target of investigation. Matsumi explains that he has some serious character flaws, but in terms of professional competence, he is certainly the best spy in the family. According to Futaba, Asano was being targeted by him because rumors from a fan page indicated that someone was planning to kill Matsumi. So Futaba adds that one day during an incident, Matsumi suffered a nearly fatal injury from Kyoichiro, and this white hair is a remnant of the stress from that incident. Since then, he became unnaturally obsessed with his sister because of his feelings of guilt. He changed his name and chose a job where he could watch her closely, manipulating all her personal relationships as he pleased, becoming a kind of protective monster. As Asano is Matsumi's childhood friend, Kyoichiro spared the boy, but with this denunciation, he has the perfect justification to kill him. Speaking of him, an alarm reveals that Kyoichiro is inside this house, probably to catch Asano. However, the siblings ask the young man to stay calm because they locked all the doors that lead to this room and installed all possible traps for the eldest spy. Futaba wants to beat up her older brother, but Cheyenne reminds her that even with 5 against 1, the success rate in direct confrontations against him is only 30%, besides there being a 45% chance of someone ending up in the hospital and a 25% chance of the house catching fire. Therefore, Futaba approaches Asano and reveals that the only chance for him to survive is by marrying Matsumi, because this will make him a member of the Yozakura family, and one of the family rules is not to kill its members. To marry a Yozakura, Matsumi needs to share her double cherry blossom ring with Asano, making the union between them official. According to Futaba, not even someone as disturbed as Kyoichiro would be able to break such an unshakable rule, and perhaps this marriage will put an end to his bizarre fetish for his sister. However, faced with Asano's association of marriage with building a family, his trauma surfaces once again. But it is Matsumi herself who refuses to marry the boy because she knows Taiyo is going through a painful grieving process, and it's not the ideal time for him to think about forming a new family, as it would be cruel not to respect this very difficult phase of his recovery. Futaba apologizes for the proposal, and Asano feels strangely conflicted, while Shio calls her siblings to teach Kyoichiro a lesson, but he appears out of nowhere where they are and regrets not having been included in this game. He warns Shinzo that it would be very troublesome to avoid all the traps he set, so he decided to destroy them all. Futaba insists and tells her older brother to leave Matsumi and Asano alone, but he claims that there is no guarantee that this guy is harmless, so he insists on conducting a more thorough investigation. Consequently, Futaba investigates Kyoichiro's ability to withstand pain more deeply and announces another fight between siblings. Then Shinzo immobilizes the man with his metallic claws, and Nano punches him heavily in the face, but he had set a trap where both fell at the same time, which took Shinzo and Nano out of the fight. Later, Kyoichiro demands that the training end and they hand over Asano, or else he will destroy this house into pieces. To prove he's serious, the spy displays his secret weapon, a steel spider, so Futaba plans to stall for time with her siblings while Matsui takes Asano and disappears with him. The older sister tries to delay the opponent, but in a short time he manages to subdue the girl, trapping her on the ceiling and preventing her from forcing her way out, otherwise he could slice his own body. Soon, Kengo takes Asano and Matsumi outside, and Cheyenne is in charge of the brother. He says that this is not an appropriate test for her level, but Cheyenne is not in the mood for games and tells the pervert to shut up, while launching several drones in the room with his remote control that relentlessly fire at the spy. Meanwhile, outside, Asano is placed in a hiding place to be kept safe, and before locking the boy inside, Matsumi says once again that she will be by his side, making a reference to the day of the funeral. Shortly after, Kyoichiro had already gotten rid of Cheyenne and his drones, and now he wants Matsumi to stay by his side so as not to dirty her with the blood of his target. Slowly, the girl approaches her brother, but as soon as she tries to fight him, Kyoichiro immobilizes the girl along with Goliath, already knowing it was Kengo disguised. Therefore, he also knew that this Asano was not the real one, so he keeps asking where they hit his target. However, this time is Matsumi who asserts herself and tells her brother to stay away from Taiyo because he would never be able to lay a finger on her, and she reminds him of what happened to his family, so she doesn't want her friend to suffer even more. Consequently, Kyoichiro promises not to go after Asano anymore, but says he will also not let his sister leave the house because there are many undesirable people outside, and he doesn't want to fail as an older brother. As he approaches with open arms and asserts that he will prohibit her from doing various things, the girl holds the knife in her hand, but unable to react, she apologizes to Taiyo. However, it is Taiyo Asano himself who shows up and tells Kyoichiro to let go of his friend. He reflects that Kyoichiro has the same fear as him of losing loved ones, but this scoundrel crosses all limits. Therefore, Asano asks Matsumi to use Futaba's strategy that would keep them both safe, so she throws half of the cherry blossom ring to him, but Kyoichiro prevents him from catching it with his steel spider. Nevertheless, Asano forces the wire to reach the ring, while secretly thanking his friend who always protected him in the toughest moments. From now on, Asano promises that he will be the one to protect her, and he cuts the wires with sheer force. Thus, he finally puts on the ring and confirms his union with the girl, who falls into his arms shortly afterward, while their younger siblings celebrate the event as they arrive at the scene. Hey folks, we're kicking off the new anime season, and if you enjoyed this anime and want to see more of it, go ahead and hit that like button down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We need your support to reach our goal of 70,000 subscribers. Every subscription counts and helps us grow our community. Catch you next time.